a loose
Okay.
we have a loose agenda as always. It's fluid. There's no order of importance, and so we can open up the meeting amongst the board, so we can start talking about the first three items on the agenda. There are a couple others that may come up from any of the board members that we may want to discuss because that's how it works. Things come in at the last minute. And so with that said, we're going to open up to the biggest one of all, which is the number one, pool regulations and liability. There has been some movement from the state in what can be done, what cannot be done with COVID openings around the state. Uh, the biggest issue that we've all faced, and we as a board to keep the community safe, and was the immunity for liabilities against the community. And it's this week we found out that the state legislation passed a bill to give immunity to communities like such as ours, and we're just waiting for the assembly to vote on it. And then it has to be signed by the governor. He may sign it, he may not sign it. We don't have a crystal ball. We can't go forward to understand what that may look like. So, being that we are under this veil of uncertainty of knowledge, we're going to keep it as it is until we get further information. It's still early in the season. It's only June something. Hopefully, in the next week or two, the assembly will take action because the Senate did very quickly, and then maybe we can get really back to normal. So does anybody on the board have any feelings towards what I just
Yeah,
expressed?
Frank, I agree. I think we had not seen any issues with the reservation system. We've had plenty of spots open, even on the weekends. I think the pool is being kept clean by the COVID person, and we also have a separate lifeguard who's just watching people in the pool. So, in my opinion, things have been working out really well. And I agree that once we have a new law that protects our community from additional liability, we can readdress the situation at that time.
Okay. Any other comments from any of the board members at this time?
No, like it says, I agree.
Okay, good. I want to bring up one other topic under the pool regulations, and that is the pool ambassador. I forget what the title is, the COVID
Contact person.
contact person. We pay considerable amount of money to have that person there, but that is not a requirement. Am I reading that correct in the literature, the information that was handed down? If that's the case, how does the board feel about sending in a letter so we can get released out of the contract, and maybe we can save a few dollars and put it somewhere else that's needed in the community?
Well, Frank, I might add, if we're waiting to see if the situation with liability changes, it hasn't yet. And therefore, we may need that person who's taking temperatures, watching for social distancing, and having people sign in so that we have some information for contact tracing should the need for that arise. If we do away with that whole thing, we don't have any of those things.
Okay, so that it sounds like we should really keep him then to keep ourselves presently now, and we can always we do that later on.
I agree. Right now, we're exposed to unlimited liability, and this, extra few dollars that we're spending may mean a lot more in the future if we need to be protected.
Mhm.
Good. So it sounds like we're going to keep the person in place.
Correct.
That's basically it. So regulations, everything is status quo as it is. We're moving along slowly to make sure that the community stays safe and that the pool will be open for use as we have it set up right now. Hopefully, we can get back to normal as soon as we get better information on that topic. There's something, I don't know what the agenda has, but it's a really important one that I'd like to bring up next, which is the clubhouse itself. There was a leak in the pump house, the pump room for the pool. There was a broken pipe. We had water intrusion into the clubhouse. That happened on June 1st. We brought in mitigation teams right away to assess the damage to the clubhouse, open up the walls, pull up the rugs. The wet rugs have been out of the building. Sheetrock has been cut off the walls that were compromised by the water along the baseboard and going up. and lo and behold, there's mold in the walls. So at this point in time, we brought in an expert to tell us exactly what's going on because we don't know. The report so far that we've seen looks towards this mold and it has to be cleaned, and the clubhouse has to be cleaned properly. It looks like this will be an insurance claim. We're not sure yet. We're going to be hiring a outside, I forget the name we call him, adjuster to
Adjuster.
work on our behalf. So we get every penny from the insurance company to cover whatever damages there are. So we will keep the community posted on that situation. Right now, the clubhouse is closed because it's active with mold. We've been assured by the people that came in that the 2 bathrooms that are used during pool hours are safe in 2 ways. They're going to cordon off mainly it's in the game room and the card room, the pool, where the pool table is. We're going to cordon off most that area, and the bathrooms will be usable to the pool people that want to go use them. Not only that, we have those special air purifying filters in each of the bathrooms that purify for COVID. They also will handle the if there's any mold spores around, so the community can feel safe. If they're using the pool, they can go into the bathrooms and take care of themselves that way. That's the only update I have on that. As we get more information on cost, how much damage, how quickly, at this time, the rest of the clubhouse is closed to all community, to the whole community. Let's go to water drainage. I know that was brought up at our last meeting. We're still waiting for our report from our expert who went out there. But in the meantime, we've been getting some bids from other water mitigation companies, looking at the cost to put in proper drainage in the areas that were noted that have drainage problems. There's really basically, that's like 1 Barber Court, 11 and 12 Maria Court, 8 and 10 Maria Court. We don't have any more information, final information in those areas, but as soon as we get that report, we will make an announcement on what the decision the board will make to relieve those drainage problems in those areas. So we're waiting on that. At any time, if any board member wants to speak up on any topic, if I miss something, please raise your hand and do so. The next topic that we need to talk about is landscaping. By and large, we had a meeting, Susan had a meeting with the landscaping committee, and the landscaper himself, actually the owner, came in to talk about our feelings about what they're doing and how they're doing it. Grass looks good. There's some spots that, still need a little bit more attention, but by and large, it cuts well, it's trimmed well. We did talk to them about what's happening with pruning. The bushes are getting overgrown, and they will be pruning the community on June 22nd. We also talked about the replacement of bushes and trees in the community. We have a list. Unfortunately, they're backed up. The whole country is backed up on supply chain and laborers. It's not an excuse. It's a fact of life. Personally, I'm doing a job at Lowe's, and I'll express this to show you how bad things are. Lowe's is out of quarter round molding, so I can't have a floor installed.
You see them?
Their whole system, they can't find quarter round molding. So it's a reality of life today because of COVID, and we just ask your patience. The board is on top of the landscaper. The landscaping committee and the Susan are out there every week checking and talking to the landscaper to make sure that things get done. The decision, I think, I'm going to bring this to the board. They're going to start taking the dead trees down and out of the community, not to have them standing in our face, like staring in our face. The recommendation is that they could plant the new trees now, but that would require extra watering. And we don't have a water supplier. That would mean that homeowners would have to help out and water those trees in front of their houses. I feel that we should wait to the fall. If we remove the dead trees so they're not unsightly looking, are gone, and then we guarantee a healthier tree being planted in the fall and that it can survive and flourish for years to come. How does the board feel about that recommendation?
I agree with it.
I can agree with that also.
Okay, so that's the action we'll take, Susan. Let the down there know that they can start taking the dead wood out, the dead trees down and out of the way, so the community looks better than having all those dead trees hanging around. And that we should plant the trees in the fall. But in the meantime, any shrubbery or bushes that are in community areas that need to be taken out and replaced, those should be taken out and replaced now. That way we have the sprinkler system running now, and that way they'll get water and they can be taken care of. So we don't have these blank spots here and there.
So I just have a quick question. Susan, let me just confirm, in terms of our contracts with Down to Earth, when it comes to tree removal and replanting, is it a separate contract that just talks about those two things, or is it included in the master contract?
No, this is excuse me, this is a separate contract that we have with them regarding the removal and the replacement of the dead items.
So how are we gonna handle the payment for this? Are we gonna pay them separately for removal and then let them wait until the fall when they plan to pay for the replanting?
I would have to check if that's acceptable because they have to order the replacements. So I'd have to confirm with Walt from Down to Earth.
Right, that was
If
my
we can do
only
two
comment
separate.
about this
And
option.
also, Mark, we have a separate line item for that over and above the landscaping contract.
Okay,
Yeah, so that's a good point, Mark, because they're gonna do some of the work now, order the trees, but the main
Right.
work, digging holes and planting is the really the lion's share. So we should be careful on how much money, upfront money we give
correct.
Down to Earth, so we don't overspend upfront and not
Right.
get the results that we want. There was a complaint made to the landscaper that we were very, very unhappy with Summer Flowers. We talked to him about their on-site manager, that he's not being attentive enough for us. The owner came in, he recognized it, and he's replanting summer flowers right now. So he is listening to us. We just need to make sure he's more attentive. And Susan, I think, is going to be in touch with him once a week to make sure that we get what we're supposed to be getting, what we're paying for in our contract, and making sure that the community is what it should be.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a general comment outside of the labor issues, which, as Frank said, we're experiencing, the whole country is experiencing right now. I think this landscaper has been providing a good service so far and pretty easy to work with. So I hope you guys all agree as a board that that's been a good choice for our community so far.
Okay.
Yes.
It seems to have been an improvement over the past year at any rate.
Yes, at this point in time, yes.
He has the majority of his work that he's performing right now is very, very good. I find the grass looks good. The edging looks good. The cleaning around looks good. It's the flowers and the other trees and some of the work orders that need help. But overall, I'm very pleased with them, in all honesty.
And another thing,
They're very cooperative. They listen and they're proving that they're willing to make it happen.
one thing that I was unhappy with, and I usually, and I brought it out until we all see it, the weeds.
Mhm.
They're not doing a good job in that area. They've been told that they got to be more attentive to the weeds that are growing. I thought we had yellow flowers put in, but I realized then there were dandelions growing, so they have to be removed. So, I mean, that's another topic there. There was another thing about landscaping. We encourage people to landscape their little patch of earth in front of their houses or on the sides. And you can do this by filing a modification form. It's really important to file the modification application for landscaping and put your own little touch on your plot of land in front of your home or whatever. I know some people have contacted the community landscaper. If he's turned you down, it's not because he doesn't want to do the work, but they have issues in just getting work done, not only in our community, but this is all over. So, look for a licensed landscaper to come in and do it. If you want to do the work yourself and you need to take plants out, once you file a modification form, it's up to you to do the job. The HOA does not participate in a landscaping modification with you. Just keep that in mind when you think about re-landscaping anything around your home. And it's just a general statement, anything that's being done on the outside of your home needs to have an application, modification application filed with the ARC committee. They come out, they look. It's not that we're not gonna, we try to control what's being done. It's just about keeping the community to a certain standard level. And we need to know what's going on in these homes. Because if you do something without filing a modification and then there's damage caused to your home, the HOA is not going to be responsible either way. Or you could cause a damage to an adjoining home. We live in a community of attached homes. And if you add anything, water or electric outside or something, we need to know that. And it goes in the file. And I've been on the ARC committee with Bob from the beginning of time. And I just went through my folder to see. I approved 93 and approvals with a note saying what has to be done. That's on the committee. Then it goes to the board. This board to date has not approved anything. So don't feel that you have to do something on the slide. It's, we're not checking up on you. We really want you to have what you need. We want the community to be better. And if, making slight modifications, it causes diversity in the community, so we don't look cookie cutter. And it's really encouraging that people do that. So just remember to file that modification form with Susan, and we'll get to it as quick as possible so you can do what you need to do.
Frank, let me interrupt you on
Yeah,
the
go.
ARC modification forms that you're talking about. Susan had let us know that summer pruning, that is bed maintenance, would begin on June 22nd. I hope she didn't say that already. I'm repeating it.
It's okay.
She added that any homeowner that does not want this bed maintenance service done, email Susan no later than June 17th. And at that point, if you do that, flags would be put in your flower beds to indicate that no bed maintenance is necessary. In other words, it seems to me that what you would be saying is, I don't want Down to Earth to be pruning in my garden. I will be doing that. Am I reading that correctly, Susan?
Yes, that's correct.
And I'll give you an example. I have a lot of flowering bushes in front of my home, and the last landscaper, even though I filed not to cut, they cut the bushes back, and I lost my blooms, my early blooms of flowers, and I had to wait till the second time around. So if you have some special, if you're a gardener and you nurture your plants, do what Frank Brady just said. Make sure you contact Susan. Say, please do not prune those bushes. I will take care of them myself. Because, I have a little bit of a green thumb. I grow orchids and I like the flowers. And I do a lot of the pruning myself on some of my plants in front of my home. So that's a good point, Frank.
And as you said, many people take pride in what they're doing in their flower beds. And we
Yes.
don't want to interrupt what they're doing or cause a problem with that by having Down to Earth do something that maybe they shouldn't have done.
Okay. The last thing I'm bringing up I don't think it's on the agenda. We talked about it at our last meeting, and that is benches. We've had 3 donations already. We have a couple other homeowners that are willing to participate and put some money in to offset the cost. I believe I think that would, I don't know, I haven't spoken to Susan. She had a conversation with a family today that wants to do something. It looks like that would cover at least 3.5 benches, maybe 4 total. I think at this time, maybe I'm going to ask the board right now. We should do all 6. The board buy 2 and put them out throughout the community as quickly as possible. And that way we'll have a nice coverage of resting spots throughout the community for those people that need to walk and take a rest, and that's my recommendation to the board at this time on benches, so we can get that thing going before it gets too late. Any discussion?
Well, what I'm going to ask is if we take care of the remaining 2.5, as you said, on the part of the board by buying them, can a homeowner still
Yes,
rebuy that and make the donation, in other words?
yes. I think, yeah, I think either that or we don't buy the extra two benches.
Yeah, or should we wait? Should we wait on those that haven't been?
That,
Done.
that was gonna be my recommendation too. If we're using this as a purely donation type approach, I would recommend that we just order those that we've had people donate for at this point.
Okay,
I could live with that.
I could live with it. I wanted to put it out to the board to see what the thought is. Okay, so we'll do that. So the process is going to be, Frank, and I want to talk to you about this. How do we do this? How do we accept donations? Do we
question.
have checks? We have to set that up and let the people that want to donate in, how they write the checks, what account it goes into. You're going to have to help me with that so we get this
Well,
thing.
Susan today had offered a possible suggestion that we might consider, and that is using the social activity account for
Okay.
the donations. For example, if I'm gonna donate one, I write a check maybe for $500, which is what, about $50 or $60 over the cost.
Right?
And that goes into the social activities account, thereby giving them something for the point in the future, near future, hopefully, when the social committee can start having activities in the clubhouse or behind the clubhouse, for that matter, as they recently did with the
Book club.
book club.
Yeah.
Okay, that might be a way to go.
Okay, good. I just didn't know what the process is. We can talk offline and set that up with Susan. We'll get the emails out to those that want to donate. We'll send them an email out. I want to order them. I like to order the benches as soon as possible. That way we can get them in here and installed and put them to good use.
Good, good.
I think that's all I have right now on the agenda. Does anybody on the board have anything they need to talk about or they've heard about or we should be aware of? Any open business that I missed?
Frank, the only other reminder I want to give you, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, is we still need to complete our process for the generators.
Yes, I have. Sorry, I've been a little busy, Mark, but I have it half typed up. I have all the information. I'll get it done this week so we get it out to those families that want to do that.
Yeah.
Thanks for reminding me, as always.
I don't have any other topics. Bob, do you?
No,
Okay, Frank, what about Frank Brady?
Now,
Great.
before we close it, we might repeat again what we did at the end of the last HOA meeting, and that is that the next official HOA meeting, I think, is August 18th, Susan, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Okay, and are we considering any additional open workshop meetings before that point? Board?
I don't know. We
I don't
could.
know. Yeah.
I don't know. We need one. We'll see how it works out. You know, we
Okay.
work constantly on all these topics all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's find out what the community has to ask us, and if there's enough.
Good, that may generate,
May generate
for
a
the
date in
next
July
meeting.
that we need to get together and have an open workshop and report back to the community at that time.
Correct.
Okay, looks like Mitch has the arm raised, so I'm gonna unmute Mitch's line if we're ready for this. It looks like Mitch is already unmuted himself, so go ahead, sir.
He's gonna ask me about the basketball court.
No, I'm Mitch, and what I'm gonna bring up to the attention right here is I am doing this for 2 weeks already for the pool committee. I am overwhelmed about the amount of work that Susan puts in here. People need to step up and help this woman out, man. You know, Bob and I and also whatever the other guy's name is, you know, we've been doing the pool and doing everything there. But Susan has to be let at it. You know, the residents can't keep contacting her during the week. Let her have a weekend off. You know, they can't go to the bathroom without calling Susan. You know, there has to be a protocol right here and leave this woman alone so she could be more efficient here. Because I'm getting stressed just watching it. Okay.
Mitch, we've discussed this several times, even with previous boards, and we wanted to set up kind of quiet hours for Susan during the day where she couldn't be contacted by either the residents or the vendors, and it's always been a struggle on how to set up the protocol in the way that this would be still serviceable for the community. But we do agree with you on one thing, that Susan does an excellent job for our community. And unfortunately, there's some residents that just don't appreciate what she does. And we certainly thank you for your comments, because I think they're very, very appreciated.
You know, because one last thing, when I was by the pool this weekend, I made decisions based upon the pool of safety, you know, with getting people in and all that. People need to play nice with each other. You know, if the rules are that they have to leave, they have to get out. People try to get over here, and it's unacceptable what happens here. Maybe we'll have another session after about having protocol on how to have more patience and tolerance. Because when I was speaking to Bob the other day, I looked at Bob and I said, Bob, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? And I choose happy. So sometimes I have to shut my mouth. And Bob will agree with me on that one. And I thank you so much for allowing me to vent a little. We do have a long life together, so it's about teamwork that will make this work. Thank you.
And thank you, Mitch, for your time on the committee. We appreciate it as well.
Thank you, Mitch. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mitch. That was very kind of you. Very surprised, very kind of you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Jay. It looks like you have your physical arm raised, not the electronic one.
Yeah, I'd like to drop off a check tomorrow. Is that possible or?
Not tomorrow. The clubhouse is closed tomorrow and I'm not able to be inside, but can we Friday, maybe Friday I can meet you?
Yeah.
Okay,
Who do I make
so
it?
yeah, if you want to text me or if you know now when you want to meet.
No, I'm
He
not
wants to know who to
quite.
make the check out to also.
Yeah,
MCBH All-Purpose Fund.
MCBH.
All-purpose fund.
Okay.
Thank you,
Actually, Jay, I'm actually going to be on site for a few minutes tomorrow. Can I stop by and pick up the check?
I have won't be home till the afternoon, but it's fine. I'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, if you call me, I'll text you in the afternoon. If
Okay.
not, then Friday is fine. Whatever,
Sounds good.
Thursday or
Okay.
Friday. MCBH All-Purpose Fund?
Yes, Jay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm going to put you back on mute. If anyone else has a question or comment, please raise your arm in the Zoom meeting, or a physical arm, since we don't have that many people here tonight.
I don't see anyone else at this point. Do you, Mark?
I do not. Okay. Again, I hope,
Let's thank all who have come to join us at this Zoom meeting. And in the future, we'd like to hear from you. And if you have any reason why you would like us to have another open workshop meeting, feel free to email Susan, but try to do it on a weekday.
well, Frank, my recommendation is we continue to have open workshop meetings. I'm all about engagement of the community and transparency, as you know me by now.
Yeah.
Even if we have 2 people attend, I still think we should have these meetings. And
Absolutely.
then hopefully with time, we'll build enough trust and respect from the community so we could get better attendance in the future.
So let's put our heads together and do one in July.
Okay,
We'll
we'll come up with the
Yeah.
dates and we'll,
look at the dates, okay?
go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, just one other, am I unmuted?
No,
Yeah.
you're fine.
The power washing there's people on McGowan that are still interested, 3 or 4 of us, maybe 5. Hello?
For your patios?
Did you call Susan about that? I think at the last meeting
Yeah, we spoke.
you did.
Jay, you spoke to CP
Yeah.
Painting. Yeah.
Oh,
Did
hold
you
on, I got the
schedule?
number. I called him twice and then he told you that I didn't call him, but you know that I don't lie to you, and I called him twice, no response. Then on May 20th, I spoke to somebody named Craig. I have my notes here, and he said they might start next week. That was May 20th.
Mhm.
So now it's
June 9th.
Yeah. So that's like
So what happened when you spoke to,
Susan,
to
do me a
Craig.
favor. When you
Yeah.
speak to Jay about the check tomorrow, do
Yeah.
you want to just handle this
Yeah,
one off?
yeah,
We'd
I
rather
will.
not tie up everyone else on the call.
yep, you got it.
Okay, so thank you guys for attending tonight. Again, we'll continue to do these sessions on a periodic basis. Have a good evening and have a good night.
Thank you guys for.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
board.
you.
Thank you, residents.
Good night.
I will end this at this point.
Good, Frank.
Okay, Frank.
Good night.